Volume's turned down.
It is.
Said something so I know it's working.
Sponsors on there.
Huh?
Sponsors on.
Sponsor, what's up, man? How you doing? Can you hear the audio? Is it working? So I got my son's ammo loaded. I got my ammo loaded. We're still waiting for parts on the Dillon. But I do have a new press coming. I'm not going to say who it is, but there's a reloading company in the state of Wisconsin that sounds an awful lot like Lee that contacted us. And they're sending us out a free press. It's supposed to be here, what's today, Thursday?
Yeah.
Today's
Wednesday.
Wednesday. It's supposed to be here Friday from what they said. How they got my information or whatever, I don't know.
Probably bought it online like all kinds of
yeah, they
companies.
probably bought it online like everyone else. So while we wait for parts for Dillon, we'll utilize their product. Maybe when we're done with it, maybe we'll do a giveaway or something on it. But I don't know, maybe I'll give it to my oldest too, since he can have this piece of shit back. Fleet Finder, what's Fleet Finder? I'm not sure what Fleet Finder is. Hi from India. What's going on in India?
Oh, Feet Finder is what he said.
Feet Finder? Oh, I thought it said Fleet. So my daughter's ammo is technically not even going to be legal for shooting in competition. It's going to be a little on the light side. But we're going to cheat anyway, and we're going to run it. Our first match is actually this Sunday. I thought it was next Sunday. It's this Sunday. So that gives me a little more urgency to get this shit done. We'll get her 1,000 rounds cranked out, and then we'll get everything cleaned and wiped out. By data in the book, they give me, it's reloading manuals are like a cooking book. You pick your bullet weight, and certain manufacturers have their own data, like Hornady publishes their own data, Spear publishes their own data, Sierra publishes their own data, but they give you powder charges, powders to use, and you can kind of pick in there from trial and error. I kind of know what powders we like. They give you estimated chronograph velocity, so I know even their max power charge for this powder is right pushing down the light side. It's like just following a recipe book. So I have my personal like records. I don't even know where they are. They all upstairs?
Yeah, right now they are.
I mean, we got 4 different books set up for different guns. And through testing powders, bullet weights, overall lengths, even primers, we kind of know what we want to do and where we want to be. But for her, I bought her that gun with a comp, and after watching her shoot it, it definitely doesn't need any real compensation for her. So we'll cut down the amount of gas that's going to be created by using a faster powder. By using a faster powder, you use less of it. Well, when you burn less less material, you have less gas. So J-Dog, you got videos posted. Let's see. Gage, click on that J-Dog and subscribe to his channel.
Okay.
He'll subscribe from his channel, and when we're done, I'll go back and I'll subscribe from mine. I took off the rest of the week, so I'm sitting here. What kind of videos did you post? Actually, we can open it. Let's see. Go to channel. If it opens.
Oh, there it goes.
Leather belt. Are you making the leather belt? Is that what you're doing?
There he is, 2 shorts, one of which has the food cottage specialty.
Oh yeah, see, we got it pulled up. I'm curious, is that optic going to stay actually attached when you shoot it?
And then this is the other one.
Yeah, I can't play the audio. If YouTube hears the audio, they'll give me a strike. We learned that out the hard way too. Hey, not a sponsor. He's still there? We got media passes for GunCon. I heard back from the guy this morning. He took our shirt sizes, got my personal information versus just the email. Hammy boy, what's going on? We're not doing anything crazy in this one. I'm just cranking out ammo, working on these watch hours. My ammo's loaded. Hold up them 2 jugs, or bring them over here. My ammo's loaded. My son's ammo's loaded. So I'm just working on the daughter's.
Okay. There's a second.
Just the 2. Just the major.
Trying to get his head to pick it up a little better.
So here's 9mm major. That's enough to get me through month of April. Hopefully then the new press will be here and we'll really crank some out. But that's a couple thousand rounds. After a while, a couple hours, we'll go do my typical live. Throw some guns on a table and do that way. Being I'm off the rest of the week, we'll probably do a couple over the next few days. If I can get more than a couple tickets, it sounds like I got 2 for sure. I asked for more. We'll get you to come along. But things coming up for the channel. I got a guy who does media drone footage, so we'll be getting him on board. He'll be doing some drone footage of different videos as we coming up. That's all in lock. That's locked down. We have better cameras that have been sitting on the shelf waiting to be used. All right, J-Dog, you You have a good day at work. So I looked at the analytics this morning. I think we got like 290 hours to go for full monetization. Is that what it was?
I think.
290, maybe a little less than 290. And that doesn't count anything we did over the weekend. So I think we did live Saturday and Sunday, right?
I think.
So well, John Wick, I'll tell you the honest truth. You're not going to save any money currently on reloading. You'll actually end up spending probably more. Components are expensive, mainly primers. I reload so I can tailor the ammunition to the gun. My son kind of has the load he likes. You know how boys are with their like and load, right? He loves his loads. Yeah, that would help, not a sponsor. And then I have the loads I'm working on for my daughter, and then for Major, for the stuff I shoot, you have to reload. But I do it more just to tailor our ammunition to the gun and to the shooter. Like he likes a snappier load that drives his muzzle back down. Me personally, I don't care for that load when I shoot his gun, but his gun likes it. His gun shoots it actually really well.
Yeah.
So with adding that optic to it, now we got to test on Saturday to make sure that that optic will stay put. You bought a Quintana, I assume motorcycle, right? The Suzuki. Did you get the 600 or 750? Unless you're talking about swords, and you have to tell me. Yeah, we're reloading YCD guns. I'm actually working on my daughter's ammo. My ammunition's done. My son's ammunition is done. So now we're just getting the stuff for my daughter. We're going to be cheating with hers. Hers isn't even going to make power factor, but it'll be a real nice, soft load for her. I thought we had one more week. Challenge me to a gunfight. Have you ever been in a gunfight? I have. I'm here, they're not. 1990 1100. All right. That'll be a little rowdy for you. Challenge me to a gunfight.
Yeah.
You know, I say that jokingly, but you can legitimately ask my kid or my oldest. I survived, they didn't. And I'm not saying my kids, but it happened in front of them. Well, which time, right? You know? Civilian world or non-civilian world?
Yeah, so now you got in gunfight. It said civilian world.
I see that. I'm just looking at this other guy who's fucking trolling that can go away. So civilian world was simple. A short story was my oldest was 7. I was at a buddy's house. We were gonna start a motorcycle, go for a ride, Guy who just got out of prison was on a bender. He came up an alleyway where we were at and decided I was going to be his target. I'm here, he's not. So you guys that think that shit's funny, it's not. You know, imagine killing somebody in front of a 7-year-old kid and trying to explain to him what happened. It wasn't scary at the time, and it still wasn't. The only reason I'm here and he wasn't is I got mad. That was all out of anger. Now, right before the shit popped off, you know, he had a gun pointed at me, and I looked over at my kid, and I looked at my buddy. I'm like, "Are you really gonna shoot me in front of my kid?" And he goes, "Yep," and flipped the safety off, and well, nothing dangerous here. We're just working on ammunition for my daughter, using an antique press that's a piece of shit. Yeah, I was fucked up, man. You know, the crazy thing, my buddy I was with was a Vietnam vet, so he saw combat. He was there, and he froze. You know, he struggles with that. He still to this day, because he legitimately froze like a deer in the headlights, and you know, he's apologized a million times and stuff, but it happened. It happened quick. It was over quick. I'm here. He's not. I'm doing just regular 9mm. We're using for her. We're using a Barry's hollow base projectile, just a 115 grain bullet. It'd be a real soft shoot and load for her. When I took her shooting, what was it, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, I ran a normal competition load for her, and it was kind of a handful. So this is a really great target load, but it doesn't make power factor. Being she's there to shoot and not win, I'm not going to tell her she's not making power factor, and I don't think she will either.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. That's not something I talk about or brag about. A guy challenged me to a gunfight, and I flat out asked him, "Have you ever been in a gunfight?" And then he said, "Yeah, tell me about yours." And I asked, "Civilian world or military world? Civilian world or contractor? You know, what are you talking about? Civilian world or Call of Duty, right?" So we're gonna change that subject, though. That's not something I want to sit and talk about. Any of you guys that want to see guns and stuff later, you can come back to the channel a couple hours. We'll do our normal live. Ah, man, you didn't even bring it up. I just think it's funny when people say stupid shit like that. So you guys know Right on. Appreciate yours. I know a lot of people like oil when they clean firearms. And I'm gonna tell you from my experience, there's better stuff than oil. We'll do a video coming up here, but I personally, and this goes from having a shop where I built guns and I cleaned guns and did all that good stuff, plus 25 years of competition shooting. The best thing on the market to clean a firearm, to lubricate a firearm, is Shooter's Choice all-weather grease. There's nothing better. Never use oil when you can use grease. Oil's great in a pinch, but it doesn't stay put. It burns off and it collects debris. Yeah, people are sheltered for sure. You know, and when that happened, I'll go back. I said I was going to talk about it. But this wasn't like, this was at midnight, you know, on a Friday night or something. This was at 3 o'clock in October during a Packer game. You know, it was a beautiful day. We had went out squirrel hunting. We didn't see anything for squirrels. That's why we got to get Dude's bike started, because he hadn't he winterized his. I'm like, let's go for a ride around the lake. And, you know, Dude been out of prison less than a week, 3-time felon. Been in prison 3 different times. Working on just regular 9mm. Putting together my daughter's ammo for USPSA this weekend. If you're going to store them for an extended period of time, that's where oil comes in, right? Get a wet patch. Clean bore wet patch, like some rum oil is what I prefer. Soak a patch a couple times, run it down your barrel, and don't run a dry patch through after it. I, again, prefer rum oil. Coat the whole gun really, really well. It'll dry, almost dry to a film, but it's easy to wipe off later. Rum oil makes a great preservative, aerosol rum oil. Any of these like CLPs and stuff, that's not a good oil and it's not a good cleaner. For self-defense ammo, you definitely don't want to run reloads anyway. For practice ammo, let's give you a basic example. So 1,000 primers is about $100. You'll go through, for 1,000 rounds of 9mm, you go through about $50 worth of powder, and then 1,000 bullets is about $100. So right there, we're at $250, and that doesn't include your brass, and it doesn't include your time. So you're at it for $250. What can you buy 1,000 rounds of 9mm for? Ammo, how are you doing? I got a free press coming. Company located in the state of I'm in reached out. They're sending me a press. We also got media passes for that gun con. Slow day, that's good. You get paid by the day, or you get paid hourly, or you get paid by the job?
I think they get paid by the job.
My son had another channel taken down. Now, we're 99% sure we know who did it. It's one of 2 people, and we're gonna prove that theory in a little bit. Mike, how are you doing? No, man, I took the week off. I called in Monday because my back was bothering me, and on Tuesday I'm like, fuck it, I'm taking the whole week. So can save some money if you're building like high-end match ammunition, because of components and stuff. But if you're just building or putting together plinking ammo, you're not really saving that much money. Yeah, that's what you were saying, that chandelier. You said you were going to send me pictures of feet picks and chandelier, but you never did either. Hey, Gage, should we take some feet picks and some ammo? Ammo, you want some feet picks with butter? Oh, God, I know it's hot.
Yeah, toast and butter.
Toast and butter. Jay Lee, what's going on? How are you doing?
Perfect time for him to show up.
Yeah, perfect timing, Jay Lee. We were just talking about feet picks and butter. I don't always call you out on bullshit. I will say that I really enjoy chatting with you. I speak highly of you, even if it is all lies. Country cock isn't butter, though. Hey, man, that's the closest thing I have to butter. Unless I'm making steaks, my wife does the shopping. So ammo, I don't know if you were here, we're loading ammo for my daughter, and we have the berries double plated. I assume that's what DP means. Maybe it's double penetrated, but just a 115. It's a thick plate, and it's their hollow base. So we're not going to push them very fast. We're going to be going a little under 1,100 feet per second. I don't know the exact velocity. It's just estimation. We'll chrono them. I know it's not going to make power factor, so it's going to be technically not legal ammo for her to use. The hollow base is interesting because their theory is it will cause the bullet to expand when fired, which gives you a tighter seal in your barrel, which increases velocity and increases accuracy. Plus, having the hollow base, it lengthens the bullet to make the same weight, so there's more barren surface that makes contact with the rifling. Again, it's supposed to help with accuracy. I haven't done any testing with these yet, so I could seriously be fucking myself by cranking out a shitload of them. Well, I can tell you this, my checkmate's slow. When I ran Glocks, it would usually be 0.65 to 0.95 on a good draw, 0.125 draw and fire. Depends on the target distance, because the further the target away, the more you have to aim, right? But 7 yards and in, usually about 0.75, 0.78. On my checkmate, I'm slow. With that manual safety on there, I have to get it off at the holster coming out. If I miss it there, then I have to break my grip and get it, and I don't even realize I missed it or didn't get it fully disengaged until I squeezed for that shot. But that gun, I'm usually like 110. It's usually about 110, 115. So yeah. Buzzer, hands relaxed, buzzer, first shot.
Then it takes that first shot from being just over a second to being nearly 2 seconds.
So I draw that gun a lot slower than I do a polymer fired gun, because if I don't get that safety cleanly off, I have to break my grip. All right, man, go split some wood. We'll catch you later. If you guys want to talk about guns later, we'll do a live. I just got to finish this ammo for her. what do they call that? I can't think of what the name of them are. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like laser targeting thing.
Yeah. So I'm almost out of this. This was I had a couple of these. They were 8-pound jugs of Winchester 231 pull-down powder. Actually, I think I had 4 of them when I first bought them, 32 pounds. And I'm just finishing that jug after about, I don't know, 18, 19 years. That's the powder I always used for my 45 ACP. Generally for 9mm, if I'm making just 9mm plinking ammo, I like to use tight group. I have some Winchester 244, but at 244, it likes 124 grain bullets. It doesn't like the 115s. Incognito, I'm doing good. How are you doing? Yeah, your videos, ammo did, looks like they took off pretty good, huh? They do. Some guns too, like CZs, they have a shorter chamber, so they tend to push that bullet back. There's different ways to crimp bullets. Most factory ammunition uses what's called a tapered crimp. That takes the 9mm piece of brass and it comes up kind of like a V like this. When I load, I use a roll crimp, so it doesn't do anything to the dimensions of the case, but at the very end of the case, it actually rolls it into the bullet. Keeps that stuff from setting back. Just start posting ammo alchemist videos.
Yeah.
Nah, ammo did a good job. He's got a couple videos that are doing really well for him, and that's good. So the setback, or the bullet setting back into the cartridge case, it's not going to cause a squib, but what it will do is it will cause an overpressure. Oh, hey, speaking of overpressure, so you could cause problems, blow out an extractor or something, and depending on how far back you get it. So one of the ways you can tailor ammunition is by how far in or out you see the bullet. The further out the bullet is, the less pressure spike, and it makes for a softer projectile versus being in. I want to show you this, because we were talking about bulge and brass, and I don't know if you can see the groove on that or not towards the bottom. You kind of see that dark groove. That's a piece of brass that's bulging. And here's another piece of brass that's bulging. That one I'm sure you can see.
Yeah, this one should be able to be seen too.
You found another one? No.
Don't know if it passed, but it is bulging, you can see.
Yeah, that's Starline brass. So both of these two, you can see that kind of the dark groove just below the bottom. That's Starline brass. That's for my major. And when that gets loaded a second time, that's the type of stuff you'll get. That was about, if it got loaded again, that would be a very, that would be a catastrophic failure. I came across them when we were depriming brass yesterday.
Yeah.
Orange Smoke, how are you doing? I have no idea. Maybe that ain't helping. Get here. Can you see it or no? So you can see the bulge in it, right? Right in this area. That one, I believe, is probably from an AR9.
Yeah.
It was probably an out of battery that just didn't let go.
I don't know if the price is over here tonight or over there.
Let's plug that light in. Unplug the tumbler and then move the computer cord down. A little too close. That better? Or you can see in a case gauge, right? Kind of the best I can show you. Let's see. I don't know what I would buy. We tested a couple years ago. We tested just about every factory ammunition that you could buy. I think the best one that had the best accuracy and was the most consistent was that UMC 124 grain, right? That's what it was.
I think.
Pretty sure it was UMC. That's probably what I would recommend somebody buy if they were looking for bulk. It wasn't the UMC is owned by Remington.
I can't check.
Keep priming.
Okay.
That's all right. You never have enough suppressors. How much was it before the stamp? I have a Dillon, but I'll let you do a little research. The company sounds an awful lot like Lee. I think they're sending, I think it's their 6,000. There you go. I'm not sure how to say your name. Ming So? How are you doing? I see ya. Big wave. If you guys are buying ammunition or 9mm ammunition, what I would suggest, what's always worked out for me, is usually 124s has always been the most consistent accuracy across everything I own, be it a 9mm, be it a CZ, the Berettas. So if you're buying ammunition, you want it to be accurate. Generally, 124. The softest shooting ammunition you'll buy is a 147. 124s shoot real flat for trajectory, so it makes zeroing it a little easier because for like us, I zero the kids' guns at 15 yards, and my checkmate I zero at 20 yards. And that gets me all the way out to 45 without having to do any holdover or anything. That Buffalo ammo was one that we didn't test. It wasn't available any place we went. So we went in local gun store, and we went in Fleet Farm. We bought every production ammo that they could have. We didn't buy any defensive ammo for testing. It was just a bulk pack. I don't even know if we filmed any of that. That was something we were using for our own workups.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was before we started doing any of this.
Yeah, I think that was before we even started YouTube. But the UMC 124s were across everything, flat out. CZs, Glocks, AR9s, Scorpion, and Beretta. That was the best shooting accuracy. And at like 15 yards, we were getting well under an inch group with that. So if I went out looking for ammunition, that's probably what I would buy. I wouldn't shoot it for USPSA, but for Steel Challenge, that's what I would use.
Yeah.
That's only because Steel Challenge, the farther targets, I mean, they're out there a ways. So some of the shots are a little challenging.
That's where you're getting the 45 yards from. Just can't remember if it's 35 or 45. Steel Challenge, that's 45.
Yeah. Yeah, he's over there priming brass, and I'm loading, man. He had his ACT testing yesterday, so I picked him up. We went driving. That was spectacular. He's learning, so I'm not going to punch him in his face yet. No, we didn't do any parallel parking yet. We didn't even really do very much backing. We just been primarily working on driving and turning and stopping. Which the good thing, I mean, my Explorer has the front parking cameras, lane assist, all that bullshit. So I don't think he's going to be able to use it for his driving test because my windows are tinted in the front, and Wisconsin's kind of a douchebag about that. But depending on the weather, or I think what I'm going to do is we'll just put the windows down and pull the fuse, because you have to have operating equipment. So all your mirrors have to be intact, your horn has to work, turn signals, brake lights, blah, 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 blah. But what they don't say has to be working is your windows. So if he goes there and the windows are up, they won't let him take the road test in the vehicle. If the windows are down and inoperable, then they'll let him take it. Yeah, he didn't have any smoothness there at all. He would come into every corner hot, and then about halfway through the corner, you damn near stop, and I'd be hollering at him for stopping, and then he'd pretty much let go of the steering wheel thinking the car was going to go straight, which, as we know, you turn into a corner, you're slowed down into it. Once you start entering that corner, you start actually accelerating. That helps pull the car straight, but it's learning. You'll get it. Scoop, good day. How are you doing? So what he's about to show you, bring that here.
Okay.
This is why I don't like to load on a press. And this is how you break shit on Dillons. So he's hand loading these, and sometimes you'll get a tight primer pocket. So he's priming that, and the primer's actually stuck in there. That would completely lock up the press, and that's usually when I break shit. It doesn't matter if it's the little Lee or the Dillon or whatever. And so what we do is we pull the tool holder out of the auto primer, and then we have a Frankfurt Arsenal handy primer. And so we put it in there, and that just pops right out. That piece of brass goes in the garbage. The primer is now junk, but that happens, right? If you're using new brass, it's not an issue. Old brass, it happens. But you lock up a fucking press right now, and you're like, it ain't going. You give it a little too hard, and you snap shit.
Yeah.
So that right there is the exact reason I do not prime on presses anymore. It's a little more time consuming because I go through on the single stage and I'll deprime everything and size it. And then we hand prime it, and that's strictly because I break shit. Alright, Orange Smoke. I don't know how to say your name, Washa what? I don't know how to say your name. Hi, Brenda. Hi. What's going on? I won't even say your name. I'll say what's going on, Chains. I will be there Saturday for a little while. I talked to Croc, and he actually asked me to come out this last weekend, and I couldn't. I had plans, but we start shooting on Sunday, but I will be there. Definitely will be there Saturday. I am hard at work. I took the whole week off. I'm still living that high expectations, See you jump down there with us?
Yeah.
Say hi.
Hey. Shane.
Say hi. I don't know you're there.
Hey, Chains.
Alright, well, I'll stop down Friday then. Hey, so Chains, we are officially now recognized as a media outlet. We got some media passes coming for shit. We have some paid product reviews coming. They're sending us some products. So it's official. It is, man. Within the next week or so, we'll be fully monetized. Right now, I can get paid. I can sell subscriptions, do super chats, super thanks, and we're making money that way. But in about a week, the channel will be fully monetized, so we'll start getting paid to sell for commercial space. So like when you pull up videos, you know how it's got the commercials in front of them? That'll be us. And we'll start changing our content a little bit. But yeah, long time coming.
Yeah. And then we won't have to take people's money. We'll be taking YouTube's money.
So these lives we're doing is just killing the time, running them hours up. You got to have so many hours in a certain amount of time to be fully eligible, and we're within I don't even know, within a couple hundred hours. We looked earlier and we had 290 hours to go, but Saturday and Sunday wasn't on there yet. Both them days we did live long streams, and that's why we're on here today. We'll probably do tomorrow too, just to make sure we meet them hours. Nick's Armory, how are you doing? Good to see you. All right, Chains. Bro, I love you. I do. I wish I could look you in the eye and say that, but you know that, man. I do love you. I appreciate you showing your support very much. I will see you Friday, probably about 5, 6 o'clock-ish. But get back to work. But thank you again for showing some support, brother. I do love that. I really appreciate you. Chains, say bye. Or Chains. Gage, say bye.
See you later, Chains.
For double the hours. I don't know how that would work with 2 cameras. So what we've been doing here too, man, is I run the laptop when we're done. We have my laptop on another account just doing continuous play. When I'm down here loading or whatever, I'll turn the TV on too and run the time there. And when my daughter comes home, because she's got an account, I take her phone from her and we're just running that time up. Yeah, I appreciate it, Sasquatchin. You know, YouTube is not gun friendly at all. And you guys that are on here, you keep hearing me say the same thing. I want to just promote the shooting sports. I mean, I'm old, I'm fat, you know, I'm half crippled. My kids love to shoot. And with talking with you, a lot of you guys, you're all showing a lot of interest in getting out and doing some shooting, right? And that's what I want to promote. I want people that maybe would have never considered it to, number one, learn how to find a match. 2, learn what you need to go to be successful. And 3, get addicted, you know. Learn what it's about, because you gain so much. And the people you meet are solid. I mean, there's law enforcement there. Some of you like them, some of you don't, but they're there. They're cool, they're respectful. But the normal people you get, just the normal guys, you know, you, me, or whoever that shows up, they're the coolest people, man. They're sharing in like hobbies and interests. You pretty much whose profile, because I didn't look at any profiles, but you're sharing like hobbies and interests, and usually you have similar political views. Oh, you have a different Scoot. No, pull up Scoot's profile pic.
Yeah. I think you just posted on there before.
Yeah, this one you had on there with your Smith & Wesson, your Desert Eagle. I think you posted that one a couple weeks ago.
But then you changed it afterward.
Yeah, then you changed it. Chicken Shack Chili. Hello? At Fallen. Screenshot that name. We'll come back to it later, Gage.
Okay.
The one from not a sponsor. Yeah, we saw that one, man. Or pull it up. You want to just pull it up? Oh, that's the chicken shit. So my daughter has the end of the year junior marksmanship match on Saturday. We do have a gun that we donated for that. I'm kind of hoping she wins it. And actually, I didn't even go buy the gun. I just gave Jay the money, and he went and bought the gun. So they got 2 guns to give away this year. And then on Sunday, she'll get to shoot her first USPSA match. So when we film her, because we'll get some footage of her shooting, all the footage is going to have to be from back facing forward. If I show anything from the side, I'll definitely get a strike from YouTube for having minors shooting guns. But we will have some footage of her shooting on Sunday. On Saturday, I'm not sure. I went last weekend. I'm sorry, the weekend before. I don't know. I mean, I talked to a couple parents that were there. I'm like, hey, can I film? Your kid may be in it. They kind of like, okay. I mean, so I don't want to just start putting other people's kids, especially kids, right? If it was adults, I wouldn't care, but putting people's kids on camera on YouTube. She'll be shooting Saturday or Sunday. Shoot Saturday, junior marksmanship. She'll shoot Sunday at USPSA. The following weekend, on Sunday, she'll be shooting Steel Challenge.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Following week.
Yeah, the week after.
Oh.
Because next week after.
Oh yeah, there's a week in between.
It'd be IDPA. Then Steel Challenge.
So she'll be shooting. We shoot almost every weekend now. There's 1 weekend a month that we don't have to shoot, or that we choose not to. All right, Scoot. Answer that. Make that money. My daughter has her own YouTube page, and like I said, you know, she's in the stuff. I don't like try to feature her in it, but with her shooting, I like to show her shooting so that maybe other parents with their kids, like, hey, my 10-year-old kid is too young to start shooting, or they're too young, they're 9, that they'll kind of take it and say, hey, look, here's a young shooter, and they're being responsible, they're doing well, that way. But do I want all her information out there? No, I don't. Do I necessarily want a bunch of weirdos out there seeing her face? Not really. But like I keep saying, the whole purpose of the channel, it was to create a spot, or at least exposure to people that maybe would like to learn how to shoot competition, or would like to get involved, and or with their kids, right? Get their kids out shooting. That's kind of the goal. I just want to be able to encourage people to share and join in the sport that I really like. You know, a big part of my life has been dedicated to it. So I want to be able to share that. All right, Scoot, I appreciate you hanging out. If you want to stop back later, I'm going to do the normal gun table live. So here we go. Just looking through my bucket. And you guys, again, you won't be able to see it. That's another piece of brass that's bulged. Maybe see the groove in it. About where my finger is, you can see there's just a slight shadow there. That's another one that would lead to a catastrophic failure. I'll bet you, I didn't even look, I'll bet you it was another piece of Starline.
I don't know if it's going to pick up on camera, but this is another kind that we have issues with, where it actually crumples in instead of out for the bulge.
The way you say bulge is hot. So once my press is set up, I'm not doing case checks on every cartridge. We will when I take them out of here and put them in the boxes. But I was having problems with this press the other day, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And I even had it apart a couple times and cleaned it. And it just ended up being a little piece of media from the tumbler that was stuck up inside. There's a little, you have the die, and inside of it is your expander die, and it goes up and down when you pull the brass up. And it was just a little chunk of shit in there, and I had it apart a couple times. I didn't see it, and I was taking the cartridge case and it was flaring one side just a little bit more. So then when the projectile would go on top of the brass to seat the brass, the projectile was a little off center. Nicks, for the normal person who's just going to go out and plink, probably not. If you like to tinker with shit, so like if as a kid you were the guy who played with Legos and not Matchbox cars, and you threw the instructions away because you like to be creative, reloading can be fun for that. There's a lot of science behind it and a lot of things to experiment with. Different bullet weights, different bullet manufacturers, different cartridge overall lengths, different manufacturers for brass, primers, powder. So there's a lot of testing and science to it. If that type of stuff interests you, absolutely get into reloading. If you're getting into reloading nowadays to save some money, you're not going to save any money. If you want to get the best performance out of your pistols, shotguns, or rifles that's humanly possible, then that's where you start to reload. For me, for reloading for 9mm, I'm saving zero money. But what I can do is I tailor the cartridges to the guns and the shooter. So I have the stuff that I like and I shoot. My son Gage, he has the loads that he likes to shoot. And we determined that through a bunch of testing. And then my daughter, she's new, so her loads or her ammunition that I'm loading for her is going to be really, really soft. It's not even technically going to be legal for the competition we're shooting in. She's not going to win. She's going just to shoot, right? So I'm not real worried that we're breaking a rule. But a nice soft shoot and load for her will do her well. And as she gets into shooting a little bit more here and gets more used to that gun, I'll slowly start bumping up the powder charge until she's actually making power factor. But for right now, we're going to work her small and work up to it. Huh. Hey, Gage.
Yeah.
So if you're into fishing and you're into the whole being the masturbator, then what we have discussed on this channel is you need butter. Put lots and lots of butter on your lure and you can cast away. Hey, Woo, how are you doing, sir?
Yeah.
No guns today. We're finishing up my daughter's ammunition. We shoot on Sunday. I thought it was next weekend. It's this weekend. So she shoots on Saturday. She shoots junior marksmanship. This is her last competition of the year. They'll give out awards in their firearms. And then we shoot on Sunday, USPSA. So my ammunition is done. My son's is done. And now we're working on my daughter's. And we'll be done with this in probably an hour. So we'll be curious to see how that shadow system likes these loads. The comp on them does take away recoil impulse, so I could be creating more problems for her than solving solutions. Later on, we'll be doing a normal live with guns, Awu. Coming up in the future, we got some media passes coming for some stuff. We have some tours with some manufacturers scheduled for later in the summer. Wisconsin manufacturers, Henry Firearms. We're working with BCM yet to finalize some stuff. Lee Reloading reached out. We have a press coming from them. Should be here yet this week. So they want to review on that. We're working on a tour of their facility in the state. Yeah, so there's I don't know if you've ever heard me say it, but when I talk about reloading ammunition, there's two types of reloaders. You have the guy who reloads ammunition because they want to shoot a lot, and then you have the guy who shoots to be able to reload that ammunition because they like the science of it. I got my son a couple years ago, and we did a lot of testing even before his first competition. So he experimented with a lot of different types of ammunition, and then we did a lot of experimentation with different powders from different companies, different brass, different primers, and gave him a really good solid foundation of the science behind cartridges. For him, that's kind of the type of person he is. He likes the science of things. My oldest son, he's mechanical. He likes to know how it works and how to make it work. My son likes to know, okay, it works, but what makes it actually, like what goes into making it work? You know, why do different powder charges or different powders make a difference in accuracy? Why are bullets, you know, same weight or whatever? Why do they shoot differently? You know, and how to affect how all the variables come together. So all that was before we had our channel. It would have been pretty good information actually to put up. Is that the rest of it? No.
No, there's still another.
How many left of that 1,000?
200 left, but the rest of the brass in here is that older stuff, and because it's been sitting for a while, it's gotten a little dirty.
You need to go back to your tumbler?
Yeah, 5-10 minutes, and more probably take.
Yeah, science is a good thing, and so not only like the science of what you do to affect a cartridge, but barrel lengths, barrel manufacturers, how like a CZ is chambered versus a Glock, how that affects accuracy or barrel or performance. There's a lot of really interesting science.
This is how the rest of that brass really is.
It could probably go just fine because we can run it through the tumbler after too.
I guess.
It's only going in for a few minutes, it's fine.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Woo. I'll catch you another time, sir. I appreciate you stopping and hanging out. I said nothing interesting on this. Later we'll show some guns if you guys want to come back and talk about guns. But unfortunately, trying to get these hours, you just gotta post, right? This monetization should work out pretty good because of when it is. We're going into the start of our shooting season, and there'll be a lot of opportunities to create long form videos. So other than that, what are you guys doing today? April 2nd at 2:30 Central Time. My Dillon press is nice, so this dinosaur, to make one cartridge I have to pull the handle 4 times. My Dillon, once it gets through the first one through the station, each time you pull the cartridge, you kick out a loaded, or each time you pull the handle, you kick out a loaded cartridge. Much faster. I mean, that thing, you got no problem at all running 1,000 rounds an hour. The biggest thing with that is keeping it fed with brass, keeping the primers full, and keeping the bullets full. If somebody were just getting started out reloading, something like the Lee 400 or 4000 or a Lee 6000 or a single stage press, which is what's here, That would be good ways to start. If you were going to shoot rifle rounds, you would use a single stage press. Reload rifle rounds, it's not very complicated, but there's a lot of processes to do. And the more accurate you want it to be, the more steps it takes. Yeah, so I think some of the first videos we'll be working on is one I want to discuss lube. Everybody has their own thing, and I'm going to tell you my opinion on it. I use Shooter's Choice grease. I've used Shooter's Choice grease for 25 plus years. When I first got into competition shooter, a grandmaster literally took me by the hand, took me to the safe area, took my gun apart, wiped it out, and said, use this stuff. And he applied it and showed me how to apply it. And I have used it very, very heavily over the years. There's nothing better on the market. Nothing. I've used and sampled just about every product there is, and to this day, there's still nothing that beats Shooter's Choice grease. It takes a very little amount. It makes your firearm butter smooth. When it comes time to cleaning, I either use a soft cloth, or I'll use paper towel, and you just wipe it out. You wipe it out, and that's it. You're done. There's no scrubbing on it. There's no oil that got hard and turned into carbon. It's the best thing out there. So that'll be our first video. And then we're going to show some content on what to look for when you buy a used firearm. And that'll probably be a series of videos for a minute. We'll break down like a Beretta, show what to look for. We'll break down a CZ because I have a lot of CZs. We'll break down some Glocks. Then we'll get into some ARs, maybe even an AK. Just showing an example of basically what a new one looks like, what one that's used looks like, and what to look for when it's used. We'll have some other stuff coming up, probably this week or next week, of showing some different gear that we have. Like my daughter this year, I bought her a new range bag, so we'll show her range bag. We'll show our carts. We touched on a little bit last year, like my son's holster, my holster, that type of stuff. We'll show that a little bit better. So we won't make super long videos. As it gets warmer, we'll start breaking down some of the firearms that I wanted to show. Like I really want to do a real good comparison between the DWX and the Tactical Sport Orange 2. I want to give a real solid review of the Shadow 2. And will probably be a couple of the first guns. I have that Gerson MC Deluxe that we've only shot a few times, but I've wanted to do a review on it. I like to shoot something before I start talking about it. So I actually have something to base what I'm feeling on. Until we get a few thousand rounds through a gun, I don't even want to talk about it. And then my daughter's Shadow system, that's another one I want to review. And of course, too, anything that somebody else might want to see or has insight, hey, check this out or whatever, we'll break that down too. But with what I just said, we basically have about 3, maybe 4 months worth of content right there. I'm hoping the goal is on some of the shorter forums where we're just talking about lubrication, or we're showing used versus a new gun. Maybe do a video like that every week, every other week on the real long form stuff, you know, half-hour videos, 20-minute videos. We'll try one of them probably once a month. I really don't want to be making shorts. As we get into shooting, I was talking with Ammo Alchemist yesterday, and he told me, and I didn't know this, that you can actually live stream on Instagram of shooting. So we might try that at some point this summer, live stream an actual match. Just set up a camera and let it play. Take it down the phase with us as we go, so you can see different people run different stages. Cooking with Love, how are you doing, sir? You getting an Echelon? When the Echelon first came out, I really wanted to check it out, and I talked to the shop that I deal with, and I asked them if they had any or if they were going to get any in, and they told me negative on both because they were buying them from the wholesaler at MSRP, so they literally had to sell them above MSRP, or they weren't going to make any money. Enjoying your day off? Are you at school or at work? Cooking with Love, you're at work? Right on, man. Hey, you know Cooking with Love? I'm glad we had an opportunity to chat. I like having a positive relationship with you a whole lot more than having that negativity. So, again, I do appreciate that. How late do you have to work Cooking with Love? Home early, got rained out. I used my lube. So, it's funny you say that, Gage. Give me that thing of lubricate. So on my M1, that lubricate, that grease.
The tub of it?
Yeah.
That's upstairs.
The lubricate?
Yeah.
Should be over there.
I'm pretty sure it's upstairs.
That gray and white?
Yeah, that stuff that soaks into metal?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's upstairs.
So I do use lubricate too for my M1A. I use that on the M1A and I use it on my Barrett. So it's funny you mentioned that because, like I said, primarily use, like on my stainless steel 1911s, I use Riggs. It's actually plus P stainless lubricant. But certain guns, and that's why I want to touch on it, right? Certain guns, you use different lubricant. Primarily, oil I don't use. I don't find it useful. But M1As, M1 Grants, my Thompson too, we use that lubricate. Kid will actually grab it. It's upstairs in my office. That lubricate's kind of an interesting thing, isn't it? If you put it on and it turns clear, you got the right amount on. If that's probably what yours looks like too, right? Almost fell asleep loading ammunition, satisfying. I've never tried it yet on pistols, so I'm not sure. I'm not familiar. What is TWB? That's not one I'm familiar with. Yeah, man, that stuff goes forever. I can pretty much guarantee you that that container I have will outlive me.
Probably.
That was something Larry Potterfield suggested years and years ago. My friend who taught me how to reload was actually friends with him. Yeah. So like I said though, in my Thompson, I use that stuff. In the Barrett I use it, and then my M1A I use it. I think the last time we cleaned an AK, we used that in there too, didn't we?
I think so.
I think we used it the last time in the AK, so
Yeah, I think didn't we try it in an AR too?
I don't recall if we tried it in AR. But hands down, maybe that tube is your choice.
Okay.
Hands down, for most of your applications, most of your needs, my opinion, only my opinion, that's what I recommend to everybody.
Want to bring over the oil that you too? No. for when you do have to use them?
They rate it to, what is it, minus 65 degrees, and they rate it up to 350 degrees
Celsius.
So you don't burn it off. We run it in full autos, and it does not burn off.
Or no, I guess I am wrong.
Oh, the other gun we used it in was the Mac 11. We tried it in the Mac 11 too,
Yeah.
and that actually it works out pretty good.
Yeah. I guess I am wrong. It is Fahrenheit, not Celsius, but either way, it's still.
Word again, Christian, I'm pretty sure you're probably used to shitting your pants. I'm pretty sure that probably goes right along with what your two dads taught you, right? Yeah, man. Legitimately, I will stake everything I ever say based on Shooter's Choice is probably hands down one of the best lubricants on the market. There's places to use oil on a firearm, but sparingly. Yeah, well, my Mac is from 1989, so 3,000 rounds is a lot. Do I need to lube it? Probably not. Do we lube it? Yeah. We lube everything. Even when I bought my oldest, his High Point, I took it apart and I lubed it. So, will they work without being lubed? Absolutely. Will an AK work without being lubed? Absolutely.
Do they work better being lubed?
Yeah, do they work better when they're lubed? Just like having sex, everything's better with lube. I'm kind of glad Shane stopped in. That was cool.
Yeah.
I love him, man. Was that sparse? I am finishing up some ammunition for my daughter. She has her first USPSA competition this coming weekend, and she'll be shooting a handgun. So she's... Yeah. So, like with cleaning, I'll be honest, I clean my barrels like very, very limited. Any one of my guns, I will not clean a barrel until the gun starts shooting like shit. Well, what I do though, and not even on my ARs, but on our pistols, when we're done shooting, I'll bring them home and I'll take a wet patch and some Hoppe's number 9 and I'll run it through the chamber. And it'll go through the bore, and I'll do that 3-4 times in a dry patch. So there's fallen and stuff that comes out with that, but primarily I'm just cleaning the chamber. The chamber is what makes sure your gun runs reliably. And generally, if not every match, every 3 or 4 for sure, I'll wipe out the grease on the gun and we'll relube them. I clean my barrels like next to never. The guns get lubed almost every time they're used. And then the chambers, just to make sure they stay running reliably. If I don't do it every single match, I won't go more than a few thousand rounds without doing it. If I know we're going shooting this weekend, right, and we're going practice and we're going to burn up a few thousand rounds of ammunition, I'll usually wipe it out then too, because I don't want to turn a practice session into a battle or a fight. Yeah, man. I don't mind people coming on and having an opinion or conversations, but when people come on and they just want to troll, you know what? I'm going to do 2 things. One, I'm going to let them troll, but I'm always going to block them, and I'm always going to get the last word in on them.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what they're trolling with.
Yeah, I don't even mind people just like randomly being stupid. But number one, I believe in my country. I believe in my Constitution. People have different political views and opinions, and that's great. That's what makes our country what it is. But let's not completely shit on our commander-in-chief. You know, he is an elected commander-in-chief, and as Americans, we like it or not, just like with Biden, we obeyed, right? I didn't like the guy. I didn't vote for the fucker, but he was the commander-in-chief. So because of that, there's things he did that I had to respect. And it's the same with Trump. Some people like him, some don't. I voted for Trump 12 different times in the last election. Are you snoring over there?
Yeah.
No, usually nothing's gained with disrespect, and maybe I should take the high road and not talk shit. And I won't disagree that I probably shouldn't. But in the same sense, most of these people that troll and then get a little shit back to them, they don't even know how to handle it. You know? They're the same ones in school that'll sit there and poke at somebody. And the minute you get mad, they run to the teacher. I'm scared. Oh, I didn't do nothing. You know what? Treat people like you want to be treated in life. Show people, when you interact with people, how you want to be treated when other people are watching. So if you and I are interacting, and even if we have a disagreement, even if we have difference of opinions and we're very passionate about it, if I can shut up and listen to your opinions, and you can shut up and listen to your opinions, and at the end of it we can say, hey, look, we have very different views, but I respect your opinion, then that should show people how you want to be treated, you know? I can respect that, Sasquatch. Or Squatching. I agree, Eddie. Like I said, if people want to kind of troll on that, usually I'll let it go. A lot of times I'll just bump it, and a lot of times I'll talk a little shit. So maybe moving forward I can do a better job of just ignoring it, right? So I can try that. Teach me, Nick. We are loading 9mm ammunition for my daughter. My son's in the corner there, priming brass, and I am putting powder in them, a bullet, and seeding them and crimping them. It's always a group effort to go shooting in my house. My daughter's usually responsible for picking brass up and helping take targets down and put targets up. My son is usually pretty good about packing our bags up and helping with brass. I pay for it and I load it. So nobody gets to just show up and shoot for free. It's a group effort. That cap cut, not a sponsor. That's on TikTok. I was asking Ammo about that.
Yeah, you can use it for everything.
Yeah, it's 9mm and it's going to be for her shadow systems. We do have AR9s, but I would have a completely different load for them. This is going to be a real soft shooting load for her. She's young. She's only 11, and she's a girl, so she's not You know, she's not a beast. What's an iPhone game? You lost me somewhere in translation.
I meant app for it.
Oh, the app. Did you find that in the App Store, or is it off of TikTok?
It's in the App Store.
It's in the App
The
Store.
app itself.
Is it free?
Yeah.
We'll have to check that out.
It's owned by the same parent company as TikTok.
Okay. Yeah, we'll check that out later.
You can find filters very easy for it on TikTok. That's what it's mainly used for.
Okay.
Also leaves its own
It's a
watermark.
free app in the App Store.
Yeah, but it leaves its own watermark on your videos.
That's alright.
Yeah.
When we get upstairs later, we'll upload that. What do you guys want to see on the table today? Anything particular? Should we put the Thompson out there? Maybe the AR-10? Not a sponsor. Did you get the bolt for your car for that exhaust? M1A? We can put the M1A out.
Yeah.
That's honestly one of my most enjoyable rifles. It's one I wanted when I was a little kid and always wanted one. Then I finally got one. But it's something that I don't shoot it for competitions. When I take people shooting, I generally don't bring that with. I don't take it every time I go. But when I take it, that's one gun I usually will take out, just that gun, or maybe one other one. But I don't spend the day with a dozen guns at the range if I bring that. That's the one gun. That's the one gun I can go out when I'm in a bad mood, and it makes me smile. I enjoy shooting it. I very much enjoy shooting M1As. I'm sure you probably feel the same about yours, right? You gonna order them parts, or do you have to go to like parts store and get them? I think if it were me, I'd probably just order the stuff and have it shipped.
Already must be on them. I saw someone asking about it.
Well, it's a little after 3 or just about 3 o'clock, so she should be.
Yeah.
Miss Harley?
Yes.
Oh, that's not Miss Harley. We're on a live.
Yeah. Oh, no, Miss Harley today.
Why? Where's she at?
Wednesday, Megan.
Oh. Rock Auto. So not a sponsor. How many people you think come in there and they're all confused when I start talking about bank heists and stuff? Yeah. I don't own an M1 Grand. I bought one that needed to be rebarreled and sent the receiver out, sent the whole gun out to Cryocean Barrels. They're here in Wisconsin, and the receiver was cracked. So bad barrel and bad receiver means no M1. My son, one goal he wants to do is he wants to shoot a CMP match this year. And so he'll be eligible to purchase a CMP rifle. And that's probably the route we'll go to get one. Is we'll let him shoot his match, become eligible to purchase through the civilian marksmanship program, and then purchase one through them. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I know. They're never gonna understand unless they were there in the beginning. That's okay. It's kind of like the butter jokes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you weren't there, you don't know what we're talking about. It just sounds weird. What do you mean something just flashed on your screen?
Oh, maybe it looks another channel.
Don't talk shit, Camel.
I know.
It wasn't pornography, was it? You guys remember Fight Club? The movie? That guy was in there editing the film for movie theaters. Yeah, Camp Perry would be a lot of fun. I know we don't talk about it, but we're talking about the film when he was edited in the added edits. I thought that was funny as hell. I still do. I thought it was an original idea too, a little like off humor. What? You're gonna kind of have to explain what it was. Was it just a flashlight? Was it a picture? Or... It didn't say something like FBI, did it? Space Monkey? Space Monkey? Look up Space Monkey, see what that is. I'm oddly intrigued.
I think what you said for your guess might be true.
Huh?
I said your guess might be true. That's coming up by the actual monkeys that got sent to space.
Oh. Ammo, you have a lot of P80s. I watched your video and you have a lot of P80s. Are you looking for buttery feet pics? Is that why you're asking about OnlyFans? If you want to support the channel, you can buy a subscription. You can buy a super chat or a super thanks. All right, Nick's Armory. I appreciate you hanging out. If and when you decide to get into reloading, let me know and we can chat more. I'll help you work through it. Full Metal Jacket is the greatest movie of all time. Followed close second with Saving Private Ryan. Followed by probably Hamburger Hill.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Followed by The Thin Red Line. Buttery goodness, there you go. Appreciate it, not a sponsor.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
What did we start?
Huh?
I said, what did we start? Funny.
Oh. Got me all laughing and shit and... Yeah, buttery goodness. That's fantastic.
That other 200 here for you.
All right. I wasn't really referring to you, not a sponsor. It was somebody asked about OnlyFans page.
Back over here. I'll go get ready for work and start getting at the table.
All right. I'll say probably a half hour and I'll shut it down here. And about a half hour, I'll shut it down here and we'll go upstairs. M1A.
Yep.
Should we put the Thompson up there too? Should we put the Thompson on the table today too?
I'll say you want a grenade launcher.
Oh, we'll just put that up there then. The A3 with the launcher and then the M1A.
Yep.
No, pick some pistols, whatever.
Yeah.
Alright, Orange Smoke. We were talking about what should we put on the gun table today. We're going to put the M1A up there for sure.
Watch the live, I see what he says.
I think maybe the A3 AR with the launcher on it. And then, I don't know, we'll fill it with pistols then. Probably the same ones as usual because they're the first ones when you open the door. Easy to get out. Squatch and do me a solid. Click in the channel and just leave a message on the first thing that pops up in that. And then when I'm done with this live, I can find your channel and I'll subscribe to your channel. Even if you don't have stuff posted on there right now, I'll still subscribe. So, but you gotta go in and leave a message so I can find your channel, please. $8 in parts, costing $12 to ship. I may check out Napa in town. Yeah. Dave Casey, how are you doing? Just finishing up some ammo for my daughter. We're using the dinosaur press. The Dillon's still down, waiting on parts. Yeah, man, go do your stuff. You don't have to hang out. I mean, I appreciate you jumping in. We're just getting them hours in. You know, we're super, super close. I think when I looked this morning, they didn't have Saturday or Sunday content on there. We were live for a long time on both them, but we were at 290 hours, I believe. So between Saturday, Sunday, maybe today and through the weekend, we'll be over our hours and be fully monetized. Just got home from work. That's all right. All right, man. Well, I mean, if you haven't, consider subscribing. As you were in the comments, you'll see a lot of these guys that are all moderators. They all have channels, and they all put out some really great stuff. So consider subscribing to them. Like the video if you haven't. And I hope to see you in the future and have chats. If you want to come back later, you'll see my M1A on the table. I'd say probably 4 or 4:30 I'll put it up. That'll give me time to go upstairs, use the head, let the dogs out and all that stuff. I called in Monday, my back was bothering me. And then yesterday I made the decision, I just took the whole week off. So Saturday, my daughter, she has her last competition, an award ceremony for junior marksmanship. And then on Sunday is our first USPSA competition for the year. So my ammunition's loaded, my son's ammunition's loaded. I'm just working on my daughter's. So Saturday when she's done shooting, we'll head out to the range. Zero all the guns that we're going to use, zero backup guns, and hopefully not have any issues. I do in the back of my head have a little reservation about what I'm loading for her because it's light. It's a really light load, and I don't know if her shadow system's going to run it or not. She's only shot the gun one time and about 100 rounds worth of ammunition, and I loaded, or we had, a normal competition load, and of course being a little girl the gun would rock back, and with that compensator on the shadow system the gun would really slam hard on her forward. So this load is just to actually take some of that nosedive out, a little bit less gas in that comp to push it. not quite as hard down. It'll make it a little bit more enjoyable for her to shoot. All right, Orange Smoke, I'll see you in a little while. If you guys want to throw a like on the video, double tap your screen, your device, like the hearts and the smileys and all that. They don't count as a like. And if you don't want to, I mean, you don't have to. This is kind of boring. There's nothing cool to see. You got a fat guy sitting in his basement loading ammunition. The channel Dave's got some cool things coming up. We should, within a week, 2 weeks, be fully monetized on the channel. I went through a little while ago some of the content that would be being posted in long form videos. We also have some media passes for GunCon. We have some tours coming up with Henry. We're working on with BCM for a tour. I have emails out to Cryocean Barrel, and we have product coming from Lee Reloading, and we're working with them to try and get a time to do a tour. I'm trying to get a bunch of tours set up the week of 4th of July because I'm off of work that week. I take that whole week off. So if I can get 3-4 factory tours in the state of Wisconsin during that time, that would be ideal. So we're trying. There's a bunch of different firearm manufacturers or firearm product manufacturers that are in the state. Like I said, Henry Repeating Arms is in the state of Wisconsin. BCMM is in the state of Wisconsin. Vortex is in the state of Wisconsin. Cryocean Barrels is in the state of Wisconsin. OK Industries is in the state of Wisconsin, and more. There's a lot of them. So as this channel moves forward, that's the type of content I want to bring. Is I want to be able to reach out to some of these manufacturers in my home state and just do a simple tour. And number one, what do they have to offer? Number two, what does the state offer them? I'm curious, why these companies have chosen to operate in the state of Wisconsin. Yeah, reloading goes a little better when I'm not talking because it's faster. And then too, there's a couple great channels that are close to my state. There's also a few in the state that over the course of summer here we'll be in contact with them and try to get some range footage. Either they come to me or I go to them. Can you send me that name in one of my short videos so I can find it? I don't have a way of pulling it up right now. But if you send me that in one of my videos where I can find it, I will go to their channel. I'll subscribe to their channel too. I'll let them know that you gave me their content, and that's how I found them. The reloading content is weird in YouTube's policy. I can talk about the individual steps and I can show individual steps, but what you're not allowed to do is show a complete manufacturing of a cartridge. So I've showed steps where we were using my RCBS prep station to trim brass, that type of stuff. I think I've shown on charging cases And I think I've shown videos on seed and bullets. But I'm leery about, I'd love to show the whole process. So I'm loading 9mm for my daughter. We're using a Barry's double plated hollow base bullet. You can see the hollow base. Just a 115. We're loading it on mixed range brass with Federal primers. Because she has that shadow systems that striker fired, I want to use a soft primer. It doesn't like hard primers. And then we're just loading it on top of Winchester 231. So it'll be about 1080, 1100 feet per second ish, which definitely won't make power factor, but for her shooting it'll be fine as long as the gun runs it. I have other ammunition loaded. I won't even say it's hot ammunition. It's loaded to standard spec. It's about 1150 feet per second, which I know the shadow system likes. I've shot that in there quite a bit. But part of reloading is being able to tailor your ammunition. And because this is for my daughter, I want to give her the lightest load that'll reliably cycle the firearm. The accuracy of it at this point is not a big concern because she's not going to shoot it very accurately anyway. Big concern for me is how it cycles and how it feels to her. If I can give her something that cycles real soft, she's going to do better. My son, for his ammunition, we loaded the same 115s this time, because I bought a bunch of them in bulk. Otherwise, I usually shoot a 124. He shoots a 124. But we load him up with CFE. I particularly don't care for CFE. It's got a real fast pressure spike to it. Incidentally, that's the same powder the military is using for their pistol rounds, or one of them. That's one of their new powders that they use. For me, when I load myself, just standard 9mm. I like tight group or 231 if it's just plinking loads. For major, I use HS6. How old's your daughter, Dave? Maybe if Louis Vuitton made guns. D-Dog, what's going on? My channel's officially considered a media channel. We got some media passes earlier for that GunCon. We also got a product coming from Lee. They sent us a Lee 6000 to product test and review, which is good because my Dillon's still down, and I don't know how or why they contacted me, but they did. Probably because I was bitching about this dinosaur of a press that I'm stuck using. So that's supposed to be here in the next day or so. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's, when you were telling me about presses, I think I suggested that to you too. My understanding is it's a good press. I don't know. I don't have one to use. I will. I'm not sure what's all coming with it or what I'm gonna have to buy. But they're here in the state of Wisconsin, so they're down in I don't remember if it's Hartford or Richford, which is only like about an hour south. 29 and 20. Yeah, you're kind of out of luck now. Stiffler Manufacturing. Are you going to go to that gun con then, or is that your way of saying you're not going? Stiffler, once we get into the shooting too, a little bit more this year, I'm going to try to get with you and get one of your slides. And we'll run it for a couple of matches. That's kind of the best way to review a product. Anybody can go out to the range and burn 100 rounds through it, but we'll go, I'll switch over, I'll run my Glock for a few matches, maybe IDPA, and we'll do a review on it then. And if you want your slide back afterwards, I'll gladly return it. But then I can honestly give a review. I can also put it on shot timer and do an honest comparison between that and a regular Glock slide to see if I'm able to do quicker, faster follow-up shots or if it makes a difference. Now, we both know going into this that it's lighter than Glock slides, so it's definitely going to cycle faster. Yeah, so for my daughter here, she's going to be shooting, it's going to be like 120 power factor. Yeah, it's up however you want to do it, Stiffler. Like I said, I'd like to review it, and I'd like to do an honest review. I don't care what people are doing on the range or whatever. I want to see how it actually works for competition, because that's where I think it's going to shine. That light and slide is definitely going to help. I guess I didn't know anything about that, Dave. You still haven't got yours? What was the shop doing to it? I thought it was already done. Didn't you already say it had all the cage and gunworks package done? Yeah, man. You got to watch out for them boating accidents. Government, well, civilians lose a lot of stuff that way. So here in a little bit, I'm going to stop and I'm going to go upstairs and we'll set up our table and throw some guns on there. I was asked to show the M1A. You find, where did I throw that brass? I had some brass I showed a little while ago. So this is the case gauge that I use, and your brass will cleanly go in and out. This is brass D-Dog that must have, I don't know if you can see the ridge here or not. But how bulged out it is. That's stuff that was fired in major. Here's another one. You'll see the ridge right here. You kind of see the dark spot. That brass is actually bulged out too. There you go. Given the option, that would be the platform or slide link that I would want, because I already have barrels for it and stuff. But if we did a 19th, it would, or a 19th size, it would have to be something that would fit the Shadow Systems or Dagger. And like I said, I'm not asking for anything for free. I'll gladly return it. But I would definitely like to share your product with not only the people that do come on here, but with the people at the matches. I can go up there and I can show it. I think every manufacturer out there, ultimately, if you can tap into the competition circuits, that's where your products get the best reviews. Everybody wants race guns. Everybody wants to shoot fast, and that's the market or the niche that a lot of companies try to get into, and some do, some don't. But that's ultimately where your products get the best reviews. If it can go wrong, if it can fail, that's where it's going to happen. Yeah, Dave, I hope that works out. I know for sure your country is not a bunch of libtards. Your politicians seem to be. But I know you guys, as a people, as a country, you guys aren't like that. I don't understand how there's such a huge disconnect. But I can look at our own country, and it's these major areas. Like in my state, Chicago, or not Chicago, Milwaukee, Madison, Green Bay are the three largest cities in the state of Wisconsin, and they almost always vote all liberal. You go through the rest of the state, the whole rest of the state will be red, and them three cities and counties will all be blue. I remember you were talking about Zero. I'm so leery about trying other people's major ammo, maybe to a fault. I've been fortunate. I've never blown up a gun yet, and I'm leery and concerned, especially with major, that's a very, very good possibility. I've talked to Excalibur quite a bit. I forget the guy's name, but him and I were talking about ammunition a few different times, and I asked him about loading for the checkmate, and he said they would be willing to do it, but they'd have to do some load development, which would be at my expense, because everything they do is based on the 2011, so all their overall links and their velocities and powder charges all correlate to that. I know you told me about Everglades before, and I don't recall ever seeing loaded major ammo on their site. I've bought bullets from them. I used to actually buy a lot of bullets from them. There you go. Everything, manufacturers are no different than me sitting here doing it. There's stuff that gets through their product control. I mean, nothing's nothing's ever 100%. There's always things that go wrong. Last year we had 2 squibs and guns. One was my son. He was low in ammunition, and he just fucking missed powder in a cartridge. The second one was my oldest son. He was shooting Maytech, and he had a squib. Yeah, I can believe that, but I wish there was a way for you guys to establish, like we have our Constitution. I wish there was a way for you to establish your right to firearms and your right to self-defense. Maybe even over firearms, but have the right to self-defense. And if that involves a firearm, that involves a firearm. But to completely neuter a society because it makes people feel better is absurd. Really? We'll check it out here in a little bit. Oh. Did you use that cap cut? Not a sponsor. Yeah. Maybe you guys are onto something with that. There you go. D-Dog, that's what you use too, isn't it? That cap cut? I know I've asked you about it before. So I think what I'm going to do, gentlemen, I'm going to end this and give me about a half hour or so, and we'll set up upstairs and we'll run another live stream for a while. Try and push these hours over the top. So Dave, not a sponsor, D-Dog. It doesn't look like there's only but a few of you guys watching, so any of you guys that want to come back, be more welcome to. And hopefully I'll see you then, and we'll get some better reviews. But if not, and you're busy, I understand. I appreciate it. Don't feel like you're obligated. So with that, gentlemen, hopefully I'll see you in a little bit, all right? Yeah, that's my understanding is you can't have a gun for self-defense. You can't buy one for self-defense. All that. All right, Stiff, I forgot you were still in your Stiffler too. Hopefully we'll see you in a little while here. If not, man, make your money. Don't feel like you gotta not be productive because you're entertaining me, right? Okay. All right, Dave. Hopefully I'll see you in a little bit and we can continue this conversation, sir. All right, gentlemen. I'll catch you in a little while.